नमस्ते कार्यक्रम सीधा कुरा जनतासँग हेर्नको निम्ति टेलिभिजन सेट अगाडि बसिरहनुभएका र इन्टरनेटको माध्यमबाट विश्वभर हामीलाई हेरेर बसिरहनुभएका सम्पूर्ण आदरणीय दर्शक महानुभावहरूलाई म रवि लामिछाने हार्दिक स्वागत तथा अभिवादन टक्राउँछु। आदरणीय दर्शक महानुभावहरू, एउटा ऐतिहासिक घडीमा मुलुक उभिएको छ, सम्पूर्ण राष्ट्र एक ठाउँमा उभिएको छ। विशेष गरेर नेपालले आफ्नो आधिकारिक नक्सा, आफ्नो घुमेको भूभागलाई समेटेर नक्सा सार्वजनिक गरेसँगै यसको तरङ्गले दिल्ली हल्लिएको कुरा काठमाडौँसम्मले धक्का पाइसकेको छ। यस सन्दर्भलाई लिएर आज विशेष एपिसोड प्रस्तुत गर्न गइरहेका छौँ। दर्शक महानुभावहरू, आज हामी भारतीय सञ्चार माध्यमहरूले हाम्रो मुलुकलाई जसरी बदनाम गरिरहेका छन् त्यसलाई लिएर गम्भीर रूपमा आफ्ना भनाइहरू राख्न समेत गइरहेका छौँ। भारतीय सञ्चार माध्यमले हाम्रा लागि के भन्छ त्यो गौण कुरा हो, तर हामीले गुमाएको, हामीबाट हडपिएको हाम्रो भूभाग फिर्ता गराउनमा सिङ्गो देश एक भएको यो ऐतिहासिक घडीलाई भारतीय सञ्चार माध्यमको हल्ला खल्लाले कहीँ कतै कान नबिजाओस् भन्नका लागि आज हामी कटिबद्ध र प्रतिबद्ध भएर एक विशेष एपिसोड प्रस्तुत गर्न गइरहेका छौँ। कार्यक्रमको नियमित प्रस्तुतिभन्दा फरक एपिसोड आजको कार्यक्रममा प्रस्तुत गर्न गइरहेका छौँ। म आज यस कार्यक्रममा अङ्ग्रेजी भाषाको पनि प्रयोग गर्न गइरहेको छु र कार्यक्रमको कुराकानी अङ्ग्रेजी भाषामा हुनेछ र कार्यक्रमको सुरुवाती प्रस्तुतिलाई पनि अबको केही बेरमा अङ्ग्रेजीमा प्रस्तुत गर्न गइरहेको छु र यसबाट धेरै दर्शकहरूलाई केही असुविधा हुन जानेछ, म त्यसका लागि क्षमा चाहन्छु। तर दर्शक महानुभावहरू, अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय समुदायलाई हाम्रा बारेमा जानकारी दिनको निमित्त हामीले आफ्नो भाषामा मात्र प्रस्तुत गरेर नहुने भएका हुनाले आजको यो कार्यक्रमको अबको प्रस्तुतिलाई अङ्ग्रेजीमा प्रस्तुत गर्ने कोसिस गर्नेछु। रिपोर्टहरू नेपालीमा समेत प्रस्तुत हुनेछन्, तर विशेष गरेर अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय समुदायलाई हाम्रा बारेमा, नेपालका बारेमा र जति पनि लिम्पियाधुरा, लिपुले, कालापानीका बारेमा विवादहरू भएका छन् त्यसका तथ्यहरू बताउनको निमित्त र भारतीय सञ्चार माध्यमहरूलाई होमवर्क दिने विचार समेत गरेर आजको कार्यक्रमलाई प्रस्तुत गर्ने जमर्को गरेको छु। न्युज 24 टेलिभिजन नेपालीमा समाचार प्रसारण गर्ने टेलिभिजन हो। यो कार्यक्रम नेपाली भाषामा प्रस्तुत हुने कार्यक्रम हो, तर आज भने हामी कोसिस गरिरहेका छौँ आजको कार्यक्रमलाई भने केही भागहरू, केही समय हामी अङ्ग्रेजीमा प्रस्तुत गर्ने कोसिस आजको कार्यक्रममा गर्न गइरहेका छौँ। And here I go. First of all, I'm going to read some part of this statement that was made by Indian government yesterday, right after Nepal officially issued new political map reclaiming our own Lipulek, Limpiadhura and Kalapani. The Indian Ministry of External Affairs objected on the issuance of the map by saying the map included Indian territory and such artificial enlargement of territorial claims could not be acceptable by India. If it is the case, why India unilaterally issued a new map a few months ago without having a conversation or dialogue with Nepal? For past 6 decades, Nepal is continuously following and asking India to review, to resolve all disputes, especially the border issue. Despite all our follow-ups, diplomatic procedures and bilateral understanding, India issued its political map, continued their road construction and inaugurated the link road from its defense minister. I have no problem fellow Indians being defensive and loving their own country. You had the right not to accept our political map, but who started this map war first? India. You issue a map without consulting the neighbor. You inaugurate the roadway that also goes through the neighboring country. You don't properly reply to the diplomatic note, and now you want Nepal to wait until coronavirus goes for the democratic dialogue. I'm not here to argue like some Indian television journalist. One journalist was making statement that China is using Nepal. He added that he has no doubt about it. The guy who holds the prime time in Indian national television is making his opinion without any base. He doesn't have to worry about the proof of documents to support his claim, and he thinks screaming loudly will prove everything. And shame on some Indian medias for disrespecting the great actor Manisha Koirala, who has a great contribution in their Bollywood. Huge respect from our side to dear Manisha Koirala ji. Now, I want to give some of the fellow Indian journalists some homework from here. Please listen carefully. Here is my checklist for you guys. Number 1, Nepal's current boundary is based on Sugauli Treaty done in March 4th, 1860. Study this and also study the supplementary treaty that was done on December 8th, 1816. Number 2, the map of Nepal which was issued by Government of India in 1857. Read that. Number 3, the agreement which was done on 1st of November 1860 to return Bake, Bardia, Kailali and Kanchanpur to Nepal. Number 4, boundary mapping of Darua region on 7th January 1875. And number 5, proof of tax paid to Nepal government by people of Limpiadhura region in 1938. Read this. And number 6, the voter list of national election that was held in Nepal in 1959. And number 7, national census of 1961. Please do some research on these facts before you enter to your studio next time. The most important fact is that Sugauli Treaty identifies that Kali River was the western frontier of Nepal. The source of Kali River is Limpiadhura, so everything on east side of Kali River and its source Limpiadhura belongs to Nepal. Both India and Nepal agrees this. However, over many years, India cleverly manipulated the map and started to call another waterway in east of the original Kali River as Kali, which is not the Kali River but a small brook way ahead of actual Kali River. That is why many territories situated in the west of the real Kali River now has been claimed by India to create some illusion like this. For an example, here is a scenario that was created. Nepal's eastern border is Mechi River. For an example, I'm just giving you an example, an idea. Is the Mechi River, everyone except this, including India. Now there is another river about 30 kilometers further. It is called Mahananda River. It is the border between India and Bangladesh. Now suppose Nepal in all its maps starts to rename the Mahananda River as Mechi River. Will it be acceptable? Then according to treaty between Nepal and India, all the territory in the west of these renamed Mechi River automatically has to belong to Nepal. And then let's say Nepal builds a road straight to Bangladesh and our Prime Minister Oli inaugurates it by Zoom or Viber or WhatsApp. India will not accept it and will definitely reacts and complains. And suppose Nepal says, we will talk after coronavirus. Would that be okay? That is exact what India did, building a road to access Mansarovar without going through lands belonging to Nepal. It is true that Nepal has been using wrong map only since last 45 years, since 1975. I personally do not know why this happened, but this mistake does not give India the rights to claim the territory based on these wrongly published map. But India is unshamefully claiming and using Nepal's land based on this cartographic error, not based on the facts. I challenge all Indian media to prove this statement wrong with the fact, not with the blame. Defaming Nepal and spreading hate will not give you our land, not even 1 inch. And yes, Nepal is not Kashmir, Mr. Modi. We have never ever been under any colonial rule, always independent. And my last message to all noisy journalists out there, defaming my motherland to hunt your TRP is unacceptable. We love Nepal not less than you love India. Create a positive atmosphere for diplomatic dialogue instead. Nepal को जय होस्। आउनुहोस् सुरु गरौँ जनताको चासो गुनासो र प्रश्न सहितको विशेष कार्यक्रम सीधा कुरा जनतासँग। ब्रेकपछि स्वागत छ सम्पूर्ण आदरणीय दर्शक महानुभावहरूलाई कार्यक्रम सिधा कुरा जनतासँगको विशेष एपिसोडमा। दर्शक महानुभावहरू, आज विशेष छलफल गर्न गइरहेका छौँ। आज हामीसँग कुराकानी गर्नको निमित्त विभिन्न महानुभावहरू आउनुभएको छ। प्रधानमन्त्रीका परराष्ट्र सल्लाहकार तथा नेपाल भारत प्रबुद्ध समूहका सदस्य डाक्टर राजन भट्टराई हामीसँग हुनुहुनेछ। त्यसै गरी परराष्ट्रविद एवं पूर्व राजदूत प्रद्युम्न विक्रम शाह हामीसँग आज जोडिनुहुनेछ। त्यसै गरी लेखक तथा विश्लेषक टीका ढकाल आज हामीसँग जोडिनुहुनेछ र भारतीय पक्षको तर्फबाट एसडी मुनि, डाक्टर एसडी मुनि हामीसँग जोडिनुहुनेछ, जो जेएनयूका प्राध्यापक, नेपाल भारत मामिलाका जानकार समेत रहनुभएको छ। अशोक मेहता, जो पूर्व जनरल भारतीय सेना र नेपाल भारत मामिलाका जानकार हुनुहुन्छ। त्यसै गरी महेन्द्र पी लामा, नेपाल भारत प्रबुद्ध समूहका सदस्य र नेपाल भारत मामिलाका जानकार हामीसँग जोडिन लाग्नु भएको छ। कार्यक्रमको सुरुवात म ताली र गालीबाट गर्न गइरहेको छु। यसअघिको कार्यक्रममा सोधिएको प्रश्न थियो, अतिक्रमणमा परेको नेपालको भूमि फिर्ता गराउने प्रधानमन्त्रीको वचन पुरा हुन सक्ला? पुरा हुन्छ भन्दै विभिन्न महानुभावहरूले यसरी भोटिङ गर्नुभएको छ। स्क्रिनमा हामी देखाइरहेका छौँ। कृपया स्क्रिनमा हामीले गरेको भोटिङ यहाँहरूले हेर्न सक्नुहुनेछ। कति दर्शकहरूले यसमा भोटिङ गर्नुभएको छ, कति यसको पक्षमा र कति दर्शकले यसको विपक्षमा भोटिङ गर्नुभएको छ, तपाईँहरू हेर्न सक्नुहोला। र त्यसै गरी हामी अलिकति छिटो आजको कार्यक्रममा अगाडि बढाउन गइरहेका छौँ र आजको त्यो सँगसँगै म अब यहाँलाई आजको प्रश्नबारे पनि जानकारी गराउन गइरहेको छु। दर्शक महानुभावहरू, गाली र तालीका लागि आज हामीले सोधेको प्रश्न पनि यहाँहरू समक्ष हामी प्रस्तुत गर्न लागिरहेका छौँ। आजको प्रश्न यस प्रकार रहेको छ, नेपालले आफ्नो नक्सा जारी गरेपछि केही भारतीय सञ्चार माध्यमले गरेको टिप्पणीलाई तपाईँ के भन्नुहुन्छ? ठिकै हो भन्नेले तालीमा र गैर जिम्मेवार हो हल्ला हो भन्नेले गालीमा भोट गर्न सक्नुहुनेछ। र भोटिङका लागि हाम्रो पात्रको मोबाइल एप्लिकेसनमा जानुहोला। र सबभन्दा पहिला म आजको गेस्टहरूलाई स्वागत गर्नको लागि गइरहेको छु। Ladies and gentlemen, we have 3 guests from Nepal side and 3 guests from India side. We are having this conversation via the application called Zoom, and first of all, I would like to welcome General Ashok Mehta. He's joining us from New Delhi, I guess. Dr. Mehta, I would like to welcome you on this show, first of all, here. And I can see from Nepal side also, I see Dr. Rajan Bhattarai, who is the Foreign Affairs Advisor to the Prime Minister Office of Nepal, and also Nepal's nominee in Eminent Persons Group, EPZ Group. Dr. Bhattarai, welcome to the show. And also I have here Pradyumna Vikram Shah, who is the former ambassador and also the expert on foreign affairs. Mr. Pradyumna Shah, I'd like to welcome you on the show also. I have Mr. Tika Dhakal from Nepal side. He's a writer and analyst. Mr. Tika Dhakal joining from Kathmandu. Welcome to the show. And I think we have Mahendra P. Lama. We are waiting to Mr. Mahendra P. Lama to join our conversation. And here we have SD Muni, the professor at JNU and expert on Nepal-India relationship. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Hope everyone is able to hear me. Now I would like to start with Mr. SD Muni. I'd like to start with you. Do you have any other facts other than the treaties that has been sanctioned before? That the only treaty that we have, and also there is a report which has been said that refused to receive from the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Modi. I'll go on that first. Any other fact that proves that the disputed land, which is not from the Nepal side, India is saying it's a disputed land. Do you have any other evidences or things to prove that, yeah, this land that India is using and doing a construction do you have any evidence, any extra updated report or anything to claim that the land belongs to India now, which was in Nepal before?
I'll tell you something what I know. Thank you very much for calling me. I'm very happy to be with this group, very dear Nepali friends around.
Yes,
now,
sir.
you're talking about the treaty.
Yes.
Everybody in Nepal is referring to the Treaty of 1816, so-called, which India also accepts. But do we know that 1816, it was only a draft, which underwent lot of discussions. until 1860, not 16, 60.
Okay.
From 1816 to 1860, there were revisions largely because the king of Nepal wanted some more territory, which was to be given to him in the Tarai.
Okay.
And the British agreed it because they wanted to keep the Raja of Nepal happy. And that process went on for almost 40 years. So between 1816 to 1860,
Okay.
the British East India Company published some maps in which what you say is depicted absolutely correctly. But after 1860, the British East India Company was no more there. It was Her Majesty's government. And the Her Majesty's government also then produced the maps which showed what position India has taken. Now, I don't have much of the historical evidence, but my analysis tells me, or I guess, that quite possibly the British then decided that Lipu Lake Pass route was more convenient to them and they wanted to retain it with them.
Okay.
Therefore, they put it in the maps. And understand it, because the British had granted the Tarai portion which the Raja wanted, Raja accepted or did not object to what the British were doing. Now, you people are all blaming India for encroachment. It is British India, and they did encroachment on your territory, on our territory, on all other territories. I am not going to discuss that. And that is
Let me interrupt you for 1 second, Mr. Muni. Let me interrupt you 1 second. You're talking about the treaty that was done in 1816, or you're talking about the other one, the other, not the treaty, the map?
Same treaty which was revised.
No. I'm trying to remind you on the map that was issued by your government, not from us, not from anybody else.
Listen to me. That's what I'm just hold on for a minute.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
Because independent India got those maps from the British as an inheritance. They did not create these maps. And independent India has been publishing those maps, which even Nepal has approved and published them as Nepalese maps. Please understand that is a reality, which we must take into account. Okay. And Nepal never objected to the British government of India's maps, which favor the Indian position today. So if you want to go into the history, you have to go into the history much deeper. Now, another point, two more points I'll say very, very quickly. First is that the people living in the Kalapani area today have Indian Aadhaar cards and Indian ration cards. They have no access to the Nepali state. The Nepali state has no access to them.
Because India took it.
Pardon?
But India took is at the same time.
Well,
what we have is
people. I mean, did we have any war with us or what? Please understand.
Sorry, if you talk about the evidence, we have more than enough
evidence. I'm telling you the reality, whatever it is. This is the reality. You go and check it. Why they have it? Why they don't have the Nepali ration cards? The Nepal government and the Indian government has to.
Sir, I have all the answer for it, but I'll let my panelists answer you for this. Let's hold on this. I have all the answers. If I'm not satisfied with the panelists, I will put you not only put you on words. I'll show you. Not only from words, I'll show you some.
Let me finish. You then counter me all the points.
Okay,
I have
fine.
no problem.
No problem. Go ahead.
And then last point is that India-Nepal Joint Boundary Commission is surveying the boundary for last many years. And they have agreed on almost 98% of India-Nepal boundary. There are 2 or 3 points, and Rajan would correct me because he would know more official documents. I don't know. But at least 2 points, they don't have agreement. Susta is one, and Kalapani is another one. And both the sides have agreed that unless we resolve this problem diplomatically, we will maintain status quo. So why has that not status quo been maintained? It is agreed, it is discussed between the two countries. It is not a new process, not that we have all forgotten 1860.
Okay, let's go one by one, sir. Let's go one by one. Okay, I think, please, I would like to request Mr. Tika Dhakal to answer all the concerns that just came from him. I think that would be the good way to start with the other panelist. Mr. Tika Dhakal, please go ahead.
All right. Thank you, Rabizi. Instead of making, counterpoints or something like that on what Professor Muni just said, I'd like to make few points on history. Number one, Sugauli Treaty of 1816 and the uh, Boundary Treaty of 1860 between the Raja of Nepal and British East India Company are
Right.
two different treaties. Of course, they are related, but they are two different treaties. That, the Treaty of 1816 was not completely revised. It was revised only in the case of the land of Nepal's western Tarai,
Okay.
which we know as Naya Muluk, Bake, Bardia, Kailali,
Kanchanpur,
Kanchanpur.
yes.
It was a
That is revision.
of that, right? It was only a revision on that, not the revision of the entire treaty of Sugauli. That's why when it comes to the boundary of east and west, when it comes to the eastern boundary like Mechi River, Sugauli Treaty is valid. When it comes to the boundary river of the west,
Okay.
Mahakali, Treaty of Sugauli is valid. So one major point on that. And after that, the British East India Company continued publishing several different maps that Ravi, you mentioned in your previous starting commentary. The map was published, of course, in 1827, and that, of course, after 1860. But what Professor Muni said,
Yeah.
that after 1860, there were certain maps which started portraying, which started showing Lipulek or, the Limpia Dhura towards the current Indian side of the British East India Company side. That is partly true. But at the same time, there are maps which are also showing that Limpia Dhura, the headwaters of the Mahakali River, Limpia Dhura is being shown correctly as the headwater, as the point of origin of the Mahakali River. That's why Kali River, we say Mahakali, Kali River is the western boundary of Nepal, and very clearly shown in those maps. That has to be analyzed correctly, number one. Number two, when we come to the map of Nepal at the point, at this moment that the government of Nepal has issued, Nepal has historically, that's why, as I said, historically regarded that, that area, the triangle, Lipulek, Kalapani, and Limpia Dhura triangle as its own. But it was only after the scholarship of 1990 that, the scholars started doing more researches. More scholars from Nepal were able to access the archives of British East India in the, archives of the current government of India times. That's the reason why the public has been more aware because of that. And a lot of light has been shed by more recent findings. That's why after 1990, the issue has become more public. Nepali people have been more informed. New researches have been done on that. And this has to be analyzed. This has to be taken into account correctly. Of course, why the government of Nepal in the past, why the Raja or why the Rana rulers didn't claim the land as theirs, that is one part of the history. That is the historical mistake, historical injustice that Nepal, actually, the old rulers, the previous rulers took lying down. But this is also a message that Nepal is not going to accept any kind of injustice that has been meted out on it. British East India.
Please, Mr. Tikaji, please hold on. I just want to ask another question. I just want to pass one more question. We'll come to the counter on this question, or if any answers that gentlemen have on your note. But I would like to ask one question to Mr. Ashok Mehta here. Mr. Ashok Mehta, the land was controlled. It seems like the land was controlled by India. But what makes India, or what makes India feel that the land belongs to India? It was just controlled by India on all the, if you see the treaties and everything, and the map that I previously said that there is a map issued by India, not from Nepal, that has clearly marked the disputed land, disputed from your side, not from our side. It was there from our end. So what makes India feels that the land belongs to India? Please go ahead, Mr. Ashok Mehta.
You want me to speak in Nepali or English?
I think to make everyone understand English, English would be fine, sir. I guess. If you are comfortable in Nepali, I have no problem, sir.
No, but I think the other
I'm not so very good in English as well, but since we want this conversation to go to the international community, I'm trying my best.
The first principle, and I'm not being cynical about this, the first principle about any land or territory is possession. And the Kalapani area and Lipu Lake area came under India's possession. As far as Kalapani is concerned, nobody knows historically the exact time. Only the Indian Army or the Indian state would know when Kalapani was occupied and established as a post. The other post is at Navi Dang. From both these military posts today, they patrol right up to Lipu Lake. So as far as the question of how does India treat this as its own territory, we had this, I think, infructuous debate about maps. For 27 years, the Joint Technical Boundary Committee, India and Nepal, have discussed this matter. And till when this 98% of the border was ratified in 2007, only two areas were left, Susta and Kalapani. And as far as Kalapani is concerned, you will recall that the Indian Prime Minister, Mr. I.K. Gujral, in 1996 said that if Nepal can prove that Kalapani and Lipu Lake belong to Nepal, they have to prove, then we will give this away back to Nepal. In 1999, when I accompanied then Foreign Minister Jaswant Singh to Kathmandu, at that time, Bamdev Gautam, the Vice Chairman of the NCP, and Narayan Vagle, the journalist, had gone up to Kalapani and staged a big demonstration in the year 1999.
But not at the end of the border. They were way ahead than the end of the border, like where the line is.
No, their demonstration was about Kalapani. And Jaswant Singh in Yak and Yeti Hotel, before journalists said exactly the same thing, that if Nepal can prove that this territory belongs to them, we will vacate it. Now, the moot question is, how do you prove? Because I have got 10 maps.
Well, sir, the only way to prove that it's your land or anything that if you want to prove or if you want to claim that is only because of the document that you have. And these documents are available everywhere. But India has nothing other than documents. And Nepal has all the documents.
One second. You see, you can produce your documents. Hard evidence is required. Documentary evidence is required.
Sir,
so I will say something.
Looks like you are suspecting the documents, sir. Looks like you are suspecting the documents. Is that true? If it's so, I have to answer this question.
All the maps that have been mentioned.
Yeah, Mr. Pradyumna, sir. Sorry to interrupt you again, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah,
there is a map of 1923.
Can you answer this, or can you make a? Can you react on this?
Sure. I'm ready.
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Okay.
May I finish?
Yeah, please go ahead. Go ahead.
In 1992 or 93, Rishikesh Shah, the former finance and foreign minister, gave me a map which was signed by the British political resident in Kathmandu and countersigned by Chandra Shamsher Jang Bahadur Rana, then Prime Minister of Nepal. That territory of Kalapani and Lipu Lake is shown in what is the Dharchula side of India.
Okay.
That map is with me.
All right, that's fine.
Okay, thank you.
That's fine.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can you please react? Can you please react?
Thank you. Thank you, Ravi. Can I?
Mr. Pradyumna, yeah, please
hello,
go ahead.
Thank you very much. After hearing Professor Dr. Muni and General Ashok Mehta, I have few observations. What I view that Sugauli of 1860 treaty and 1860 of the another treaty which was signed by the Jang Bahadur after Sipai immunity. These are the only two boundary treaties signed between India and Nepal.
So both on 1860, right? Both on 1860.
18 and 1860.
Okay.
1816 and
Okay.
1860.
All right. Okay. 1816
So
and
these are
1860. Just two treaties. That only treaties that we have on this issue is two treaties, right?
Only,
Okay.
yes, right.
Yes,
These are
gentlemen, please go ahead.
Only, I'm going.
Yeah.
These are the only two border treaties signed between India and Nepal. Then Britishers have signed on behalf of India. So if any border treaty is to be replaced, it has to be replaced by the border treaty itself, not by the other.
Okay.
However, in 1923, there was another treaty of peace and friendship signed between Great Britain, Britisher when they were in India, and Nepal. That has mentioned that it will continue the treaty of 1860 Sugoli Sindhi, continuation. They mentioned about only continuation, but still nothing, the land or the maps, whatever it is. And after that, only we have the 1950 treaty. As per the article 1950 treaty, it cancelled all the treaties, then British, India and Nepal. So this is the what situation. So what I want to say that we have to go to the evidences. The treaties are evidences. All these four till 1950 treaty, they are ratified treaty. They are, General Professor Moni was saying that 1860 treaty was just draft. It is not a draft treaty. It is signed by the two, by Nepal, then British government. About this four land, Baki Bardaya, Kailali, Kanchapur. And Article 3 of this treaty clearly mentioned about the Kali.
Yeah, I have a copy of it too, yeah.
Kali is the border. It say about the Sarda also in the southern side. So these two treaties clearly says about the border is Kali river. So after that, the map, we are discussing about the map. I am not very worried about the maps because the map, which was, there are several maps. In the beginning, the map was signed in 1819, and then after again, it was 1827, James Harrison, yes, and 1846, and H.B. Batten, and 1837, that is another map which you can find in the Calcutta Library.
If I can add one more. I'm sorry to interrupt you. If I can add one more here, there is another 1st June of 1815. There is a secret letter, or the letter sent from. It's written from Lord Mori. What is it? What about this one? This is also one. Isn't it another? Isn't this in?
No, that is
evidence?
no. Rabi,
Yeah.
what I want to say that I believe in the treaties that is ratified.
Okay, you're talking about the treaties, not the draft, not the letter, not the responses, just the treaties. Good, yeah, go ahead.
No, treaty, 1860 treaty also it is ratified. Perfect. That was signed in Kathmandu, but it was ratified by the both countries. So this is valid. Two countries has accepted. As far as map, as far as I go to the map, I mentioned about the 1827, 1847.
After this, I'll come to Mr. Rajan Bhattrai on the reaction of counter reaction on the statement that we have made.
Let me clarify.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Let me clarify till 1837 map. That is Anglo-Persian map. J.D. Tyson has published. So that map also Olympia Dhura is the source of Kali River. So till that there is no problem. But in 1956, when there was a Survey General of India published a map in 1956, that map was annexed by the handwritten map. It was written in a Nepali paper. That was annexed in the map of 1957. 57. So till that point, I do that it is agreed by the both countries. So it is still valid.
Okay.
Then after
I'll come on more evidences that we have, including the the receipts of people paying tax. Sorry if I have interrupted you. I'll come on this point again because I have to talk on more evidences that we have. Please go ahead.
Okay. So unilateral map so far it is published till to this last year. It is unilateral map published by the India. So
No.
whatever
I'm coming to that point. It's not that I'm ignoring that fact. I'm coming to that. But let's do things one by one.
No, this has no legal ground. What I want to say that only the map or treaty.
Okay, just of your whole statement is like we are talking on the base of treaties that has been sanctioned, not the draft, not the emails, not the correspondent, not the handwritten thing. Only the treaties that are valid and that has been signed with
and signed by the two countries.
By two countries.
Agreed by the two countries.
Okay, now Mr. Bhattarai here, I just want you to react on the reaction on our map that has been recently revealed again, including the Lipulik, Limpiadura and Kalapani. Now the Indian counterpart has we have received another statement yesterday evening from India that they want Nepal to rethink. I mean, gist of the letter, I guess, is they want Nepal to rethink and resolve it by dialogues and all that. So what would you like to say on this? What would be our steps next after the reaction from Indian government? Mr. Bhattarai.
Thank you, Ravi. Let me start with the Sugauli Treaty. I think Sugauli Treaty of 1816 was the only comprehensive boundary treaty between Nepal and India, then British India, and which has clearly finalized the boundary between two countries in a comprehensive manner. Followed by this, whatever happened after Sepoy, rebellion and the treaty in 1960, that was the part. That was a certain portion of it. It's not a treaty itself, a comprehensive treaty, and that is why we all are, agreed since then that Sugauli Treaty was the one which had, downsized the size of Nepal, and we accepted that because there was a war and we lost that war finally, and then there were the negotiations and finally we agreed that. So when we are based on that, I don't think we can refer other than this treaty when it comes to discuss about the, in a comprehensive manner between our two countries' boundary issue. So that is, I think, one point I would like to mention here. The second point, what I would like to say is, whoever says in whatever way in individual basis, that is, I think, can be a reference, but it cannot be a legal or,
that won't be an official.
Mandatory documents. So for the mandatory things,
you cannot take it as an official document.
Mandatory. For the mandatory for both countries to follow it or to make it mandatory, there has to have a signature. The document that has been signed by both sides. So that's the practice in international relations, and we have to also follow, and we have been following, in fact, in the past. What had happened when it comes to about the map, different maps in different times, because as you know, the background of our country, where we had to go through a different periods, political periods. There was a fight within the royal palace immediate after the Sugauli Treaty, and then rise and fall of many regimes during that time. Rana regime were there, and then again we had to suffer from different systems. So because of that, there was a time when the British were there, they distorted the maps, perhaps, and even after that, there was some distortion and maybe some problems. When we came to know this by 1990, after the democratic era, as Tikaji mentioned, then we had gone through the whole process, and I think the scholars, even the political party and the parliamentarians, they got access to the region, and they found that the land based on historical documents and the facts, belongs to Nepal but occupied by India. The Indian forces are stationed there. So in that, when we found that, then we started to raise this issue with India.
It has been 6 decades already.
Raise it. And in 2020, let me give you some of the reference on this.
Okay,
In
okay.
2000,
I will come to you. I think basically what you are adding is what you are saying is an addition to what Pradyumna ji just said, and then I'll come to you again. Now I would like to come to Mr. S.D. Muni again. Mr. Muni, first, would you like to react or you know, make any comments on what you have just heard from two gentlemen from Nepal side, Thikaji and?
Well, I would simply say that my understanding of historical revolution is slightly different from theirs. 1816 treaty is a result of repeated revisions in the 1916 draft. I have all the papers with me, all the letters and the corrections which have been made. And it is in the draft, it is only in 1816 that it says that the government had, the British government has recognized it. In 1960, the king was to recognize it or give it a legal status within 15 days or 20 days.
Okay.
He did not do that. It took months, and therefore revisions went on. Now, I mean, we can't discuss history here sitting like this, how to interpret it. So let us leave it as it is. Secondly, in addition to the treaties, you have to, as General Mehta is saying, and all historians would know you, treaty is one set of documents which has to be trusted and relied and depended upon. I fully agree.
But official treaties are,
It is not the only document which has to be relied and depended upon. There are other practical positions which have to be, in various other countries. India and China have said that the population settled cannot be disturbed. This is on agreement. Now you say populations don't matter to us. This is not done. This is not international
So
practice.
you want Nepal to consider the drafts, you want Nepal to consider all the talks and dialogues
I don't want
that has not
anybody
been
to consider
documented
anything.
also?
I want the Indians and Nepalese government officials to sit down together and coolly negotiate.
For
I
how
don't
long,
want
sir?
anything
For how long?
for anyone
6
to do
decades
that.
we waited. Even Nepal government, last time when there was the issue that when you launched your political map, Nepal clearly sent the diplomatic note. What happened then? What happened?
Yes,
then
on
you
that-
officially
that map-
inaugurated the road.
Listen, that map, the change is only on the Kashmir's position. In no other part any change. And that map was issued not for Nepal.
But it has included
it
Nepal's
was
territory,
issued
sir.
only
It has
for
included
Kashmir.
Nepal's territory. You said that is
changed the
disputed
status
territory.
of the Kashmir which was issued there. Please understand that. You have raised objections on something which India has consistently been doing.
If you don't want to take a look at the map that you have revised and relaunched, then I don't have to say
I have
anything.
seen
If you
that
go
map.
there, if you see the map that has been sent from India,
Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir.
it has our land clearly in there. So I think Rajanji or someone wants to.
Can I say something about this map? It was published in.
Okay, please go ahead. Please.
Thank you very much.
Please
yes,
go ahead, Pradyumna ji.
I think that Muni Saab, you know that the map was published in 2nd November in last year, 1990.
Yes.
2019.
Yes.
The map, you can, if you see that it is 8 series. I'm talking about the 8 series. You have published the 9th and 10th series later on. The 8th series, you can see that in the Pithoragarh area, the Blue River Kali it is clearly written there that Kali is swinging, but it is in the Indian side in the Pithoragarh district. That is a big proof for the Nepal is saying that the Kali is the boundary river as per the treaty. You have agreed the South Sugoli Treaty or 1860 treaty. Still say that it's a draft, but it is. I have seen that it is ratified by the both government. Ratification date also is there, and also the treaties references available in one of the big library of Calcutta. But now I do not have the exact name of the library where we have bought this reference. But it says that it is signed in Kathmandu, ratified by the in Delhi. So it is not a draft. This is not a draft. I'm just saying. And this map again.
Rajanji, can I stop you for 1 second? I think Rajanji wants to put a note on this, or anybody wants to put a note on this, please. Yeah, let's hold it on.
I think one thing has to be understood, each one of us, is that these areas are the disputed land. It's been recognized time and again by both sides. Most of the after 2000s joint statements, if you go through the joint statement between the two prime ministers, each and every joint statement, it mentioned it. And the joint commission, the two foreign ministers in 2015, Sushma Swaraj and Mahendra Bahadur Pandey, and 2019 July, Pradeep Jamali and Jay Sanga both agreed that the boundary issue, especially in Susta and Kalapani, has to be settled through the diplomatic dialogue, and the secretary level committee joint secretary level committee will be formed, and they will deal this issue. When we acknowledge that these are the disputed land, and then if you start unilateral actions, then it obviously generates the problems and complicates the issue.
Okay, Vijay, can I add my view on this?
So I think Mr. Ashok Mehta is trying to put some statement or make a comment on this. Please, can I let Mr. Mehta speak on this, please?
Relevant. Some.
No, one second. Mr. Mehta, please go ahead. Mr. Mehta.
Three quick points.
One thing, if I can add one thing before you answer, if I can add one thing, because as an army man, I think it would be relevant if I ask you this question. When they say there was on 1962 at Kalapani, you had 18 army posts there, out of which 17 were removed, and the last one the last one is still there. Do you agree with this, or you don't agree with this?
If you read Buddhi Narayan Shrestha's book on management of the border, he lists all the border checkposts that were there, from Tinker Post to a place near the Mechi River, which is called Chang Thapu. There were 18 posts. There was no post at Kalapani. So remember that the Kalapani, if Kalapani was on Nepali territory, then why wasn't there a post in Kalapani? The post only started from Tinker. That's the first point. The second point is that we are talking about the eastern border.
Okay.
Yes, of course, Article 3 of the treaty says all territory east of the Mahakali is with Nepal. But the point is, what is the source of Mahakali River?
I see Tika Dhakalji is smiling. I think he has an answer.
No, it says.
Central point.
Raviji, we are going back to the same point again. We have already cleared.
Because, no. We are talking of a border and the source of the river. And the whole problem with whether the origin is Limpi Dhurwa, Lipu Lake, Kalapani, Tinker Pass, there are 4 claims to the source of the river Kali. Tinker, Lipu Lake, Kalapani and Limpia Dhurwa. So which
Rabiji, as for the river science, if you go to the river science, there are 3 points that to find the original of the river. The river, if it is a length of the river is considered, and the catchment area, and also the volume of water. All these river science, we have a fixed boundary system followed by both India and Nepal. And as per this fixed boundary system, from 1981 till 2007, we have prepared, as General Mehta said, that we have prepared 182 strip maps covering, they say that is 98% of the total border, which we have 1880 kilometer long Indo-Nepal border. But what I say that the 2% left, which is 3-step maps, is yet to be completed, that is in Susta and Kalapani. But this 3-step map is very much bigger, complicated than the 98% that what we have finished. Second thing, General said that it is a ratified. This is not ratified yet. This map is completed, but there was a proposal from India to ratify is by the both, keeping aside these two border, two disputed area. But Nepal has replied. I was the Minister of Foreign Affairs. So we have replied that until and unless we complete the whole map, this will not be ratified.
Okay, I think Tika ji also wants to comment on the
one
same
second. As a proof, Rabiji, as a proof, I have to say that this will be the only map ratified by the both Nepal plan is after completion of the 100% of this map. Otherwise, we have no other map which is agreed by the both countries. So there are some version unilateral by India. They say that they are very much right, and we also have published map. So there is no legal ground. Legal ground means you have to agreed by the both country, ratified by the both country. Until and unless it is ratified, this is just a document for the discussion.
Okay, okay, Tikaji, please go ahead. I think he is ready to make a note or make a comment on this. Please go ahead. And then after that, I will come to Mr. Muni.
Yes. Thank you, Raviji, for coming back, because I was already trying to make some points. My points actually from the start are still due. That's why let me start from where I left, and then I'll quickly make those points.
Sure.
You know, as Rajanji correctly mentioned, the triangle, Limpia, Dura, Lipu Lake, and Kalapani triangle has been agreed as a disputed area where status quo was supposed to be maintained until a decision has to be reached. That is the principle of boundary agreement all over the world according to international practices. But what happened was, over the last 5 years, you see from 2015, I'm coming to the more recent points. 2015, India has unilaterally carried several escalatory actions. Number one, first in 2015, it signed an agreement with China to use the Lipu Lake Pass for trade.
Right.
And Nepal objected to it, sent protest notes to both countries, diplomatic notes to both countries. China responded, but India remained silent. As far as I know, China said that there was a room for improvement, and if it felt necessary, it was ready to revise even India and China agreement. Rajanji would know better, and then I would say he would make a point on that, because this has been one of the basis of claims made by India, because since 1954, India and China have signed several agreements together on Lipu Lake Pass, and it was in 2015, after knowing through historical documents, after knowing through access of the archives, that Nepal knew this land formerly belonged to Nepal, and then Nepal started making claims. That was the time when the government sent diplomatic notes to both countries. Second, in November 2019, India published a map. And then, it included Kalapani within its territory. As General Mehta mentioned, why the time when this Indian military post in Kalapani was kept is unknown. I think this is not a question, because if the entire area from historic document is showing that this falls within Nepal, then there is no question about it that Kalapani is entirely within Nepalese territory. So then comes the third action, when this track to Lipu Lake during in the middle of this pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic, and then almost a kind of a political crisis was also developing here in Nepal, that India inaugurates a track without responding to Nepal's repeated calls for diplomatic dialogue. So these were the escalatory actions. On it was Indian Army Chief's statement, General Naravane, who said that Nepal cannot make its own points, it needs somebody else behind. I mean, these kind of statements are not helping. These kind of statements are not helping. These kind of actions are not helping to resolve the border issue through diplomatic dialogue. Nepal has been asking for dialogue. Now, finally, after India,
even recently, we sent a diplomatic note when the map was published last time.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. I'll come to. I would like to come to Mr. Muni, but before that, I think the tricky part here is. Please correct me if I said anything wrong. Please correct me. I think the tricky part is about the Kali River, the real Kali River, not the one that is created. That is, I mean, there is a blame that the river, the small brook there, which is way ahead than the real Kali River. I think that is the tricky part there. The brook, not the real Kali River, which is way ahead of Kali River, is not an actual Kali River. Is that the tricky part? Is that the place where India wants Nepal to believe that this is the Kali River, which is not, which is a small brook, as I said. So I think the tricky part is over there, somewhere around there. Anyone wants to comment on this? I think.
Yeah, Ravi, can you give me the floor, please?
Yeah, please go ahead. Please try to make it shorter, and then I'll have to go with Mr. Muni.
No, I have concern in the only 3 documents. One is I already said about the 1816 and 1860, these 2 treaties.
Okay.
Then after it confirmed that Kali is our boy in the eastern part of Nepal, and the Kali say that is beyond this Kali. That means Kali River is not the river of Nepal. It says like that, but let us we discuss about it.
Yeah.
But the map, it was published by the India in November 2nd, that is 8th series. It clearly says that Kali is in the Pithoragarh in the Indian territory. That is very much clear for us that it is the Kali River. Where is Kali? India has shown in the map that is in India. It has occupied. If you show that Kali River's the origin of Kali River goes to the Limpiadhura. If you see this map, if you have now there, I think that you can show in the corner, you can see Kali River in the Indian side, and its origin goes to the Limpiadhura side. The area that it covers, the Kalapani, Limpiadhura, Lipillu, all together it is 392 square kilometer land.
I think the question
that is very much clear. That is clear.
Yeah.
That is clear.
2 more points, Raviji.
No, any other.
I think let me ask Mr. Moon to react on this first, because let's go one by one. I think there are so many questions. The questions has been raised a lot, but no reaction yet from Mr. Muni. If you want to react.
I let Rajan speak. He's a very dear.
Okay. So with your permission, I'll let Mr. Rajanji put note.
No, Rajan, yes, go ahead.
Okay, all right, that's good. See, this is how we conduct debate in Nepal, Mr. Muni. How you like it?
Yes. Can I?
I'm saying let Rajan speak. He will make a valid point.
All right.
2 more points. When it comes to the population of those areas, does it matter or not? What had happened is that based on our documents, that until 1959, Nepali people living there in those areas used to pay the taxes, local taxes, in the headquarters of Darchula district.
Yeah.
That we have those Darchula district, our side, Nepali side.
Yeah. I have the copy of it.
Headquarters.
I have the copy of it to show my audience. Yes. Go ahead.
We have that. The second point we have to make clear is that in 1961, Nepal conducted a first census.
Yeah.
And that census was conducted in those areas also, which means before Indian armies occupied those areas, these areas and interaction, of course, it was a difficult terrain and is not easy access going there from Nepali side. They have to use the Indian lands, which was the fact even in other parts of Nepal. Before, making bridge in the Karnali River, we used to go by India to far west as well. Yeah. So that was the practice in the past. Yeah. So in census,
we still have that obligation, I guess.
And also in election, 1959 election, each people voted in, the 1959 general election, which had elected the Prime Minister, BP Koirala as a Prime Minister. So in these 3, with the documents and the person, Bhairav Risal himself, who were there for the census, as well as other activities, he is the living truth and the evidence. But when foreign army occupied, and obviously the access was denied, Nepali side, and then it's a difficult terrain, and there was a gap. And based on that gap, we cannot say that how the people, the field living in there. That's the different things that I would like to do.
Okay. Yes, I think let me make a point on what he just said, and then if it helps to answer Mr. Muni, I'm going to Mr. Muni first to answer this or react on this. So one, he said that the proof of tax paid by Nepali government of living in Limpiadura on 1938, and the voter list of national election that was held in Nepal in 1959, and then also he added so many points. What would you like to say on this? Yeah. The census on held by it was on 1961, I guess. Yes, 1961. Mr. Muni.
Rajan, similar documents are also with India. So what I say, we are all students of history, you and me. I think that's what I say, let the officials sit down with those documents, compare who has more weight, and accept mutually accommodating each other and being sensitive to each other. There are contradictory documents, there are contradictory proofs but both the sides have them. It is not only one side. Let us be very, very clear and very honest about it. That's why the dispute has arisen. And so far as, don't call it army possession. It is very offensive, Rajan, I tell you. Why? Because the army went, we had a military modernization mission in Nepal. My foreign policy book will give you all the details. When Nepal invited Indian border checkposts on the China border. And these checkposts were different from what happened in Lipu Lake. Lipu Lake was not, that's why Kirtaniti Bist in 1969, when he asked all these border checkposts have to be wound up and taken back, they were all taken back. That post was not included in that. It was not a military invasion. It was largely to meet the Chinese that we were there. Now, Raja Mahendra knew it. And, you talk to Vishwabandhu Thapa, Rishikesh used to come and stay with me. General Mehta would know about it. You talk to all of them. And the king accepted it because the earlier kings have also accepted. So look, there are lapses on both the sides, if at all you want to say. What documents you have, how can you say that my government did not react, doesn't matter, now my scholars are saying this. Aisa nahi chalta international relations. International relations, when the Nepali state has been endorsing it by silence, General Mehta was very correct in saying that possession is half the claim. And I would say if the other side keeps silence, that is more than half the consent.
But Mr. Muni, what was the rush to the Indian authorities to inaugurate the road?
You can't simply take those aspects which suit you.
No, my question to you,
can't take only those
Mr. Muni, one thing. Okay, since you focus on dialogues, let's sit down. Since you focus, let me interrupt you for 1 second. I have a quick note. I have to make a quick note on this. Gentlemen, please excuse me for 1 second.
I cannot take it militarily,
Gentlemen, I have a small note on that. Since you are Mr. Muni, you are saying that it has to be resolved from the dialogues. We have to sit down. Then what was the rush? What was the hurry to the Indian authorities to inaugurate the road? Then why?
I'll tell you about the road. The road project started in 2006, not now.
But it's not that we closed our eyes. We've been trying. We were waiting.
India
Nepal was waiting.
Upgraded all its border roads all along, and the Chinese are unhappy with it.
And what happened to our diplomatic notes? You ignored all the diplomatic notes and you kept building.
Today is being made by China also. That we should not upgrade our border roads.
Okay.
You can't do that.
Okay, Rajanji, what about you? What would you like to say?
Arunachal Pradesh, there are
Okay, let Rajanji answer this question. Because he's in the authority at this moment. Rajanji, what happened to then? The road was started, constructing way ago. Then we noticed. So, what is your reaction on this?
Nothing. There was no reaction.
Can I let Rajanji answer it first, please? Let's do one by one.
Okay, it is 9:30. I have got to go somewhere.
Yeah, just hold on 1 second, sir. Hold on 1 second.
No, I have to be on another channel.
Okay, tell them I'm in Nepal television. In Nepali television, News 22 television.
No, I committed to you up to 9:30.
I appreciate that, sir. Thanks.
So
I appreciate that. Okay, let's try to make it quicker. Rajanji, please react. Try to make it fast. Rajanji, and then
2 points. One is when it comes to road construction, when we say we recognize, we acknowledge that this is the disputed land. I think construction, unilaterally construction, any sorts of structures there, it does not match with the agreement that this is the disputed land. That's what one point I would like to make. The second point is that I fully agree that is why we have to sit together. We have different claims. we have, based on our evidence and the historical documents, we are claiming that this land belonged to us because of these documents and maps. And India is saying that no. Then there is the disagreement. That is why we have to sit together, and that's why we are pushing for the dialogue. That's why we are raising this issue since 1990.
Rajan, can you hold on? Can we reconnect Mr. Muni? Because I didn't see him here. I think he left. I don't know that was on purpose or just technical error, or he was saying that he has to go to another channel. If we can reconnect him, I'll try. But Rajanji, go ahead. Mr. Mehta is with us.
Yeah.
So this is what our position also is, that let's sit together. Only the dialogue, only the diplomatic way out we do have. And so far, these two things we agree, that this is the disputed issue. And the second, it has to be settled through the negotiation, through the diplomatic initiative. So when we agree on that, before settling down those two issues and agreed issues, none of the parties supposed to, break the status quo. That is the, I think, norms and the international practices.
So why did Nepal then publish this map, this unilateral, first time in the history of India-Nepal relations that Nepal has changed its map? First time in this relationship. India has not changed the map, as we said.
This map was there. This map was there in 1975, Mr. Mehta.
Until you see there again.
No.
I think Mr. Mehta,
No, many times, General Mehta, many times.
No, if you are talking about border, if you are talking about the adjustment, 98% of the encroachment and counter claims, that is a different issue. A brand new map being published by Nepal. Did Nepal publish a new map when the border encroachments were settled? No. They have only produced a map now. And you have said quite rightly that there should be no unilateral action. We should go back to the negotiating table.
And then you take the unilateral action. We go back and publish the map.
Mr. Mehta, I know everyone is ready to answer this question.
How can you, say that?
There is no unilateral action on the part of India.
That's the problem.
No, you tell me building the road. If you're building a road for 10 years and Nepal is not saying a word, if you have produced a new map and in which it's no revision of the old map.
Okay, I think
where is the unilateral action?
No, General Mehta, let me correct you.
Okay, I think Pradyumna
We've been raising this issue since 1990, and we can show you the documents where there had been a series of meetings between your side and our side, even in the prime minister levels. As I mentioned I would like to refer you the joint statements between the two prime ministers.
I told you what Gujarat said. Gujarat and Jaswant Singh has said.
You also asked to go through the discussions. I mean, also the decisions by the Joint Commission.
Ravi,
yeah, I think the Tikaji wants to make a comment on this. Yeah, please go ahead.
Let me, yes, to add to elaborate, position of Nepal. Continuously, joint statement. If you see, I would like to mention two joint statements. One that was signed between Girija Prasad Koirala and Atal Bihari Vajpayee, the then Prime Ministers of Nepal and India respectively. And most recently, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi of India visited Nepal in 2014, there also, we clearly said, the statements clearly said that, and mentioned the names Susta and Kalapani. Those issues were to be settled through diplomatic negotiations, and Nepal was imploring. Nepal was not only asking for diplomatic negotiation, Nepal was imploring every time. And most recently, when India's Foreign Affairs Minister Jaisankarji visited Kathmandu in August last year, there also it was agreed that the boundary issue was to be referred to the to the secretary level mechanism between the two countries. But those agreements were never put in place, and it appeared time and again that India was trying to delay the meetings, trying to delay the mechanism meetings, and at the same time carry on the unilateral actions in the territory. So that actually created a big disturbance here in Nepal among the public, because public now knows it. Panchayat was a closed system. That's why a lot of people would not know what was going on in Kalapani or in Limpiadhura or in Susta, something like that. But now it is the beauty of democracy that transparency has prevailed and people know what's going where. That's the reason why people come to the street, they draw attention of the government, and then government has responded positively to the call, the demand of the people. So you have to also see the situation. It's not it's not that we can keep this issue in limbo forever. That's the reason why this matter needs to be settled through dialogue as soon as possible. Both sides should talk, both sides should sit on the table, both sides should bring the historic documents on the table and then discuss and find an amicable solution. So this is where
and looks like Mr. Mehta, looks like India did not give any value to any diplomatic process or any diplomatic notes that came from Nepal, and then you're saying that
yes, that is not true. I agree entirely with Rajan and Tikaji that we must immediately, or as soon as it is feasible, go back to the negotiating table and start discussing these two vexed issues about Susta and Kalapani. There is absolutely no doubt in anybody's mind. India-Nepal relations must not be affected, which were on the mend and which have now appear to be taking a nosedive. This must be arrested. This is good neither for India nor for Nepal. This will benefit other people, and I don't think that is what is in the interest of our two countries. And I would therefore...
But Mr. Mehta, one thing, Mr. Mehta, like India is not ready to receive the EPC report. It's not ready to respond on diplomatic notes. It is not listening to several conversation or several diplomatic procedures. And
I can assure you, India will not be lacking in responding to the current impasse which must be broken. The sooner the better. And with your permission, may I leave because I have another engagement at 10 o'clock.
Okay, we are about to conclude this conversation as well.
Okay.
So the last note from Mr. Pradyumna, and then we will wrap up.
Thank you, Ravi, again. I think that I join with Tikaji and also Mehtaji that we should sit together and start immediate our dialogue to resolve our this problem, because we have a age-old relation, historic relation. We are very close, and at the people-to-people level, we are very close to each other. Though in the government level, there is different. But one thing that what I want to say that the road construction was not complied by the Indian side, because in 1968, when there was a Susta problem, they signed one. The level understanding was there that they will keep status quo ante in both in Kalapani and Susta, and that means they will not construct anything, they will not alter anything. So Susta is well maintained and Kalapani is not maintained because they have constructed the road. Another thing that I want to add that between India and China, they have a 13-point agreement signed, which was signed by the Sibis Kharmenan, who was the foreign secretary as well, and the Dai Ganzhou from China. Both they signed that when there is a tri-junction, the three countries will sit together and they will discuss on the issue. And till in the Tri-Junction area, these two, only India and China will not touch. That was reference in the Doklam, in the Bhutan, connection of the Bhutan and then Sikkim areas. But it applies in the Kalapani and Lipulek as well. This applies for the both India and China, that they have not maintained this understanding which was signed by Shiva Shankar Menon and Dai Gawapu, and this is what they have. They should not have signed and joint press statement when the Prime Minister Modi traveled to China, and they agreed to open this border.
Since Mr. Mehta is in a rush, since Mr. Mehta has to leave, last note from Rajanji about the EPG. Mr. Mehta, I'll take 1 more minute from you. Please pardon me for this. 1 more minute. What happened to the EPG? Why India is refusing to accept the EPG report? I think the group is trying to get some time from Mr. Modi, and all the procedures, all the tries, and it's they are not being able to provide the report to Mr. Modi. What was the reason? What is going on with that? And what are the things that are included in EPZ report, Mr. Rajan Bhattrai? The last note.
EPG report we have submitted in July 2018. It was the time, a non-extendable time that was given to us, and we completed it, and we all agreed the report, and we are eagerly awaiting to submit it. Though I am no more a member of the EPG, but as an earlier member, I can say that the Nepali side still wants to submit this report. Because there was an agreement that first we will go to Delhi, submit to the Indian Prime Minister, and then come back, all 8 of us, to Kathmandu and submit to the Nepalese Prime Minister. But it has been almost 2 years that the time was not been permitted, and we are still expecting that they will receive it, because it's the highest level initiative, and the first time Nepal and India have discussed in a very comprehensive manners on our bilateral relations, and come up with a common recommendations for the future. That includes borders issue, that includes 1950 treaty, trade, transit, and water resources. These are the very vital issues between our two countries' relations, and that is obviously our expectation is that to enhance our relation, strengthen our relation, and update our relation in today's context. This report has to be accepted by both sides, and based on that reports, they can implement. And the implementation is a different
It has many issues included. It has many issues included, including this this dispute, whatever dispute that we are having, a lot of dispute, including the border issues, right? So I'll let Mr. Mehta to conclude, and if you have to say anything to include this about the solution, how can we resolve this dispute?
I agree entirely with Rajanji that this EPG, which has worked very hard and produced a very good report, and I know the contents of this report, and I have spoken to many members, including Mr. the Beg Bahadur Thapa, who was the Nepalese head, and on our side. So it must be accepted, and it must be implemented for the good of India and Nepal. And before I conclude, I would once again suggest that we lower the temperature and we go back to the negotiating table. This is not a matter that should be treated lightly. India-Nepal relations are far too important for this region to be left for a nagging border dispute which has been going on, as people have said, since 1860. So I would conclude by saying that I wish the Nepali side good luck. I wish the Indian and the Nepali side will get together and try to resolve this matter in the spirit of mutual interest, give and take, and compromise.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Nothing will work without compromise. Thank you.
That's the essence we both have to carry on.
Exactly.
Thank you, Mr. Mehta, and thank you everyone for joining this conversation. We are trying to resolve the issue. We are trying to resolve the dispute and raise some serious issues so that we can get some solution out of this dialogue. So I'd like to thank everyone, all the panelists, Mr. Rajan Bhattarai, Pradyumna Vikram Shah, Tika Dhakal, and also from India, Mr. S.D. Muni, Mr. Ashok Mehta, and we missed Mr. Mahendra P. Lama, but we'll try to get his version in some of our regular bulletin or somewhere. But thank you so much. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, everyone, for your valuable comments and time. Thank you very much. If somebody wants to make another last note, I think that's all for now. दर्शक महानुभावहरु, यो कार्यक्रम अंग्रेजी भाषामा प्रसारण हुने कार्यक्रम होइन. हामीले नेपालीमा आम सर्वसाधारणका विषयहरूलाई प्रस्तुत गरिने यो कार्यक्रम हो. तर विशेष विषयवस्तु भएका कारणले र हामीलाई मात्र होइन, संसारका अन्य देशले पनि नेपाल भारतको सम्बन्धलाई लिएर, विशेष गरेर सीमा विवादलाई लिएर विभिन्न टीका टिप्पणी भइरहेको यो परिप्रेक्ष्यलाई मध्यनजर राख्दै आजको यो कार्यक्रमका केही अंशहरूलाई हामीले अंग्रेजीमा प्रस्तुत गर्यौं. आशा गर्दछौं यहाँ प्रस्तुत भएका विषयहरूले पक्कै पनि केही न केही सन्देशहरू दिए होलान्. यो विषयलाई प्रकाश पार्न अथवा यस विषयमा थप जानकारीहरू गराउनको निमित्त विज्ञहरूबाट प्रस्तुत भएका कुराहरूले केही न केही मद्दत पक्कै पनि गर्नेछन्. यो हाम्रो सानो प्रयास मात्रै हो र भनिहाले हामीले नियमित रूपमा प्रस्तुत गर्ने शैलीभन्दा फरक रूपमा गएर प्रस्तुत गरिएको यो शैली हो. आजको आवश्यकतालाई महसुस गरेर विभिन्न महानुभावहरूलाई कार्यक्रममा सहभागी गराएर हामीले यो कार्यक्रम आजको तयार पारेका हौं प्रत्यक्ष रूपमा. यतिखेर एउटा ब्रेकको बेला भएको छ. ब्रेकपछि केही रिपोर्टहरू हामीसँग बाँकी छन्, यहाँहरू समक्ष हामी प्रस्तुत गर्नेछौँ. न्युज 24 टेलिभिजनमा तपाईँ हेर्नु भएको छ कार्यक्रम सीधा कुरा जनतासँग. ब्रेकपछि स्वागत छ सम्पूर्ण आदरणीय दर्शक महानुभावहरूलाई कार्यक्रम सीधा कुरा जनतासँग. आदरणीय दर्शक महानुभावहरू, कार्यक्रमको यस अगाडिको अंश हामीले अंग्रेजीमा प्रस्तुत गर्यौं. अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय समुदायले पनि यस विवादलाई लिएर हेरिरहेको पक्षमा र नेपाली संचार कर्मीहरू अथवा नेपाली संचार माध्यमहरूबाट कम प्रयास भएको गुनासो आएको सन्दर्भमा हामीले यस सेगमेन्टलाई, यो कुराकानीलाई प्रस्तुत गर्यौं. पहिलो पटक लाइभ टेलिभिजनमा हामीले अंग्रेजी भाषामा डिबेट सञ्चालन गरेका हुनाले यसमा केही कमी कमजोरीहरू रहेछन् भने कृपया हामीलाई विभिन्न माध्यमबाट जानकारी गराउनु होला. आगामी प्रस्तुतिहरूमा त्यसलाई सच्याउने कोसिस गर्नेछौँ. कार्यक्रम सञ्चालकको रूपमा अंग्रेजीमा कार्यक्रम सञ्चालन गरी डिबेट सञ्चालन गरेको यो मेरा लागि पहिलो अनुभव हो. केही कमजोरीहरू रहेछन् भने कृपया जानकारी गराइदिनु होला भन्ने म विनम्रतापूर्वक दर्शक महानुभावहरूलाई अनुरोध गर्न चाहन्छु. भारतीय सञ्चार माध्यमहरूले नेपाललाई लिएर विभिन्न दुष्प्रचार गरिरहेको परिप्रेक्ष्यमा वास्तविकता जानकारी दिनको निमित्त नेपाली राष्ट्रिय टेलिभिजनमा डिबेट सञ्चालन गर्ने यो प्रयासलाई अन्य सञ्चार माध्यमहरूले निरन्तरता प्रदान गर्नेछन् भन्ने विश्वास पनि हामीले लिएका छौं र सँगसँगै अन्य विज्ञ महानुभावहरूबाट यस किसिमका डिबेटहरू सञ्चालन हुनेछन् भन्ने कुरामा पनि हामी विश्वास लिन चाहन्छौं र भारतीय सञ्चार माध्यमहरूका लागि र अन्य आवश्यक सबैका लागि हामीले तथ्य र प्रमाणहरू समेटेको एउटा रिपोर्ट बनाएका छौं. त्यो आम दर्शक महानुभावहरूको जानकारीका लागि यो डिबेट हामीले अन्य विभिन्न नेपाली भाषा नबोल्नेहरूका लागि अथवा जसले नेपाली बुझ्नुहुन्न उहाँहरूका लागि, अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय समुदायका लागि विशेष गरेर र भारतीय टेलिभिजन लगायत विभिन्न किसिमका चासो राख्ने, नेपालका विषयमा चासो राख्ने महानुभावहरूका लागि हामीले प्रस्तुत गर्यौं. अब भने हामी आफ्नै लागि एउटा रिपोर्ट प्रस्तुत गर्न गइरहेका छौं. हाम्रा तथ्यहरू, हाम्रा प्रमाणहरू, हाम्रा दस्तावेजहरू, हाम्रा कागजपत्रहरू, हाम्रा दसीहरू समेटेको यो रिपोर्ट हामी यहाँहरू समक्ष प्रस्तुत गर्दै भनिरहेका छौं. हो, सीमाका विषयमा यो देशमा कुनै पक्ष प्रतिपक्ष छैन. सिङ्गो देश एक छ, एउटै स्वर, एउटै आवाज र एकै ठाउँमा अग्लो उँचो उभिएर हामी भनिरहेका छौं हाम्रो यो नक्सा, हाम्रो यो राजनीतिक नक्सा, हामीले भर्खरै जारी गरेको नक्सा नै नेपालको नक्सा हो. यहाँ भएका ठाउँहरू नेपालका भूभाग थिए, हडप्न खोजिएको थियो, प्राप्त गर्नेछौं. यो रिपोर्ट हेर्नुहोस्.
नेपाल सरकारले बुधबार पूर्ण भूभाग समेटेर सार्वजनिक गरेको नेपालको नक्साले नेपालीमा खुसियाली छाएको छ भने छिमेकी राष्ट्र भारतलाई बेचैनी बनाएको छ. सरकारले बुधबार लिम्पियाधुरा, लिपुलेक र कालापानी समेटेर राजनीतिक तथा प्रशासनिक नक्सा सार्वजनिक गरेको थियो. नेपालले नक्सा सार्वजनिक गरेकै साँझ भारतको विदेश मन्त्रालयले नेपालले सार्वजनिक गरेको नक्सा मान्ने नभएको प्रतिक्रिया दियो। मन्त्रालयद्वारा जारी विज्ञप्तिमा नेपाल र भारत सीमा विवाद कूटनीतिक वार्ता मार्फत समाधान गर्ने द्विपक्षीय समझदारी भन्दा बाहिर गएर नेपालले कदम चालेको दोहोऱ्याएको छ। बारम्बार नेपालका तर्फबाट भएका कूटनीतिक छलफलका प्रयास भारतले लत्याउँदै आएको अवस्थामा नेपाल अब कूटनीतिक वार्ता भन्दा तथ्य र प्रमाणमा टेकेर वार्ता गर्न कसिएको छ। तर लिम्पियाधुरा, लिपुलेक र कालापानी आफ्नो दाबी गर्ने भारतसँग कुनै पनि प्रमाण छैन। नेपालसँग भने स्पष्ट आधार र प्रमाणहरू छन्। प्रमाण नम्बर 1, नेपाल र ब्रिटिस इन्डिया बीच भएको सन् 1816 मार्चको सुखौली सन्धि। सुखौली सन्धिको 5औं बुँदामा नेपालका राजाहरूले काली नदीको पश्चिमका भूभाग दाबी नगर्ने उल्लेख छ। अर्थात् काली नदी महाकाली नै पश्चिमको सीमा मानिएको छ। कालापानी, लिपुलेक, लिम्पियाधुरा काली नदीबाट पूर्वी भागमा पर्ने भएकाले सो क्षेत्र नेपालकै भएको प्रमाण हो। प्रमाण नम्बर 2, सन् 1816 डिसेम्बरमा भएको सुखौली सन्धिको पूरक सन्धि। नेपालका तर्फबाट गजराज मिश्र र चन्द्रशेखर उपाध्यायले इस्ट इन्डिया कम्पनीसँग गरेको सुखौली सन्धिको मूल दस्तावेजले पूर्वमा मेची र पश्चिममा काली नदी नेपालको सिमाना कायम गर्यो। त्यो सन्धिको नक्सामा राप्ती पूर्व कोशी नदीसम्मका तराईका भाग नेपालमा समेटिएको थिएन। त्यसलाई सच्याउन नेपालले आग्रह गर्दै आयो। सन् 1816 को डिसेम्बरमा अर्को सन्धि भयो। त्यसमा राप्ती पूर्व कोशीसम्मका तराईका भाग फिर्ता गर्न ब्रिटिस सरकार तयार बन्यो। त्यसमा नयाँ मुलुक भनी जङ्गबहादुरले फिर्ता पाएको बाँके, बर्दिया, कैलाली र कञ्चनपुरसम्मको भाग पनि जोडिएर पूरक सन्धि गरियो। त्यसपछि हालको नेपाल कायम रह्यो। प्रमाण नम्बर 3, सन् 1815 मा तत्कालीन इस्ट इन्डिया कम्पनीका गभर्नर जनरल लर्ड मोइराले ब्रिटिस सरकारको एउटा कमिटीलाई लेखेको गोप्य पत्रमा काली नदीलाई उपनिवेशकालीन भारत र नेपालको सीमाका रूपमा स्वीकार गरेको थियो। कुमाऊ युद्धमा आफ्ना सैनिकले गोर्खाली फौजलाई हराएपछि लेखिएको उक्त पत्रमा स्पष्टसँग सीमा किटान गरिएको छ। त्यो बेहोरा सहित उक्त पत्रमा लेखिएको झन्डै 10 महिनापछि नेपाल र इस्ट इन्डिया कम्पनी बीच सुखौली सन्धि भएको थियो, जसको 5औं बुँदामा नेपालका राजाहरूले काली नदी पश्चिमको भागलाई आफ्नो भनेर दाबी नगर्ने उल्लेख गरिएको छ। सो गोप्य पत्र सहित अन्य नेपाल अंग्रेज युद्धका दस्तावेज सन् 1824 मा प्रकाशित पेपर्स रेस्पेक्टिङ द नेपाल वार नामक पुस्तकमा संग्रह गरिएको छ। 49 बुँदे उक्त पत्रको 37औं बुँदामा कुमाऊलाई आफूमा विलय गराउनलाई मूल्यवान उपलब्धि भन्दै काली नदीलाई सिमाना बनाइने उल्लेख गरिएको छ। प्रमाण नम्बर 4, कालापानी क्षेत्रका बासिन्दाले 1995 सालमै तत्कालीन नेपाल सरकार मार्फतका निकाय र व्यक्तिलाई बसोबासको तिरो तिरेको 81 वर्ष पुरानो रसिद नेपाल सरकारसँग सुरक्षित छ। 1995 असार 19 मा कालापानी क्षेत्रमा रहेका बासिन्दाले नेपाल सरकारका नाममा निश्चित अन्न वा पैसाको तिरो बुझाएका थिए। 1995 असार 19 मा कालापानी क्षेत्रमा रहेका बासिन्दाले नेपाल सरकारका नाममा निश्चित अन्न वा पैसाको तिरो बुझाएका थिए। हाल भारतीय पक्षबाट अतिक्रमित कुञ्चीका बासिन्दाले पनि तिरो बुझाएका छन्। साथै नाभि र कुटी गाउँका बासिन्दाको नाम समेत उल्लेख गरिएको छ। उक्त तिरो संकलन नेपालका कर्णेल भुवन विक्रम राणाको नेतृत्वमा खटिएको टोलीले गरेको थियो। यसबाहेक परराष्ट्र मन्त्रालयले सन् 1934 मा बनाएको साझा सहमतिको लिपुधुरा सेती महाकाली नक्सा, विभिन्न चरणका 132 वटा नक्सा, विक्रम सम्वत 2018 को जनगणना, विक्रम सम्वत 2015 को मतदाता नामावली, ऐतिहासिक दस्तावेजहरू, नेपाल र भारतबीच विभिन्न समयमा आदान प्रदान भएका कूटनीतिक नोटहरू, काली नदीको उद्गम स्थल नै लिम्पियाधुरा भएकाले त्यहाँसम्म नेपालको भूभाग हो भन्ने दरिला प्रमाण हुन् र यिनै प्रमाणका आधारमा नेपालले भारतले अतिक्रमण गरेको भूभाग फिर्ता पाउनुपर्छ।
दर्शक महानुभावहरू, यी विभिन्न दस्तावेजहरू, यी विभिन्न दस्ती प्रमाणहरू समावेश गरेको यो रिपोर्ट यहाँहरू समक्ष प्रस्तुत गर्यौं र वार्ताका लागि, सम्बन्ध सुदृढ गर्नका लागि कुराकानीबाट अगाडि बढ्नुपर्छ भन्ने भारतले भनिरहँदा यतिखेरसम्म नि भारतले आफ्नो त्यो अडान त छोडेको छैन। तर वार्ताबाट समाधान गर्नुपर्छ भन्ने, तर वार्तालाई टारिरहने यो प्रवृत्तिका कारण 6 दशकदेखि हामीले निरन्तर प्रयास गरिरहेका थियौँ आफ्नो भूभाग फिर्ता गराउनको निमित्त। र यो दरिलो प्रयास, यो दरिलो पाइला नेपाल सरकारले अगाडि सारेको छ, जसमा सिङ्गो राष्ट्र एक भएको छ। यहाँ पक्ष र प्रतिपक्ष भनेर कुनै पनि खेमामा छुटिएको देखिँदैन, एकै ठाउँमा उभिएको छ र यसरी नै राष्ट्रिय एकता कायम गरेर एक ठाउँमा उभिएर हामीले आफ्नो भूभाग फिर्ता गराउनको निमित्त सांस्कृतिक पहल अथवा अन्य विभिन्न पहलहरूलाई निरन्तरता गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ र आफ्नो सीमा यो हो भनेर सरकारले भनिसकेपछि आफ्नो सीमाको सुरक्षा गर्ने काम सुरक्षा निकायको हो। हामी आशा गर्दछौँ आफ्नो सीमाको सुरक्षा गर्न नेपालका सुरक्षा निकायहरू सक्ने हुनेछन्, सक्षम हुनेछन्। साथसाथै आजका लागि कार्यक्रम निर्धारित समय समाप्त भएको छ। दर्शक महानुभावहरू, कोरोनाका विभिन्न विषयहरू, कोरोना कोभिड-19सँग सम्बन्धित रहेका विभिन्न एपिसोडहरू प्रस्तुत गर्ने क्रममा आज भने हामीले सीमासँग सम्बन्धित रहेर डिबेट सञ्चालन गऱ्यौँ, विभिन्न व्यक्तिहरूसँग कुराकानी गरेर यहाँलाई जानकारी गराए जस्तै यो हाम्रो पहिलो प्रयास हो। यो प्रयासका बारेमा हामीलाई विभिन्न प्रतिक्रियाहरू यहाँले दिनुहोला। थप न्युजका लागि हाम्रो वेबसाइट www.news24nepal.com मा जानुहोला। साथै हामीलाई फेसबुक, ट्विटर र युट्युबमा पनि फलो गर्न सक्नुहुनेछ। कार्यक्रम सिधा कुरा जनतासँगको आजको श्रृङ्खलाबाट सम्पूर्ण युनिटका साथमा दशौँला जोडेर नमस्ते र बिलामी सारेको।
कोरोनाले सिर्जना गरेको सङ्कटमा पल पलका न्युज अपडेट र हर क्षेत्रको कभरेजका लागि
न्युज 24 नेपाल युट्युब च्यानललाई सब्स्क्राइब गर्नुहोला।